Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Brian here. How's everyone doing today? Hope you're enjoying the third day of the new year. Um, I wanted to make this video talking about Chris Christie on The View. I watched a small clip of this. I did not watch the entirety. It was like the first 10 seconds. So I was gonna watch this with you guys. You guys and girls, pause it every so often, and then talk about it a little bit afterwards. Give my thoughts and opinions, and hear what they're saying and stuff. All right, so let's get right into it. These stupid ads.
Some might say perfect. Who's ready to show 'em who's the cheesiest? I will come to you the cheesiest, coach! Cheez-It, official sponsor of the college football playoff.
Here's my question.
All right, beginning the clip right now.
Here's my question. Republicans are always talking about how they're good for the economy. People believe that. And how Democratic policies aren't working. A couple of things. Number one, recent history shows.
Well, correction on that, Joy Behar. Yes, Republicans do act like they're good for the economy, but all reality is, Republicans and Democrats are not good for the economy. Both these parties have destroyed our economy, especially the Democrats, in recent times.
Shows that when a Democrat is in office as president, we have a surplus. Then the Republicans take over. Suddenly there's a deficit, and then the Democrats have to clean it up again. That has happened a few times. The stock market is breaking records right now. Job growth is improving. Wages are up. Inflation is down. Okay, groceries are still expensive. Biden is working on that. Gas is down. Gas is down. He got the blame when it was up. Can he get the credit when it's down? Can't you?
Okay, let me put something out there. Gas dropping a couple cents is not mean gas is down. Get gas down $1.50, $2. Then we'll talk, Mrs. Liberal Communist Joy Behar. And groceries are still high, and Joe Biden is doing absolutely nothing about that. And when these people talk about inflation's down, no, it's not. Things are still going up. That's a lie by the liberal media. Inflation is not down. You can ask any person that goes grocery shopping every day. You can ask people that have gone out to stores, anything. Prices of things are going up, from food to pet food to furniture to technology to clothing to children's toys, to basic essentials like cars and stuff. Prices are going up. In fact, they just did an announcement in Pennsylvania that the bus ticket are going to be going up 25 cents. It used to be $2.50 for the bus. Now it's going to be $2.75 in a few months. So things are not doing that, and wages are going up. She's right about that, but that has nothing to do with Joe Biden. That's because a lot of states are raising their minimum wage. That has nothing to do with Joe Biden. Absolutely nothing. So it might be better for Joy Behar in the stock market. And stock market's going up. That has nothing to do with everyday Americans. Prices are still expensive of things. Taxes are still high. Even though wages are going up, they're still poor wages. Inflation is still high. Whether the liberal media wants to lie about it or not, inflation's still high. Now, to talk about what she said about a Democratic president's coming to clean up Republican president's mess. Like I said earlier, both parties cause damage. They are both equally terrible with the economy and stuff. But the only example of an actual Democrat coming in and getting an extremely bad economy going again, and not making things perfect, making things somewhat better, is Barack Obama. Because Bill Clinton gets all this credit for the economy being strong in the 90s. That's because policies that Ronald Reagan put in place in the 80s. The economy was going to do well, and there was going to be a surplus in the 90s. Any way you look at it, whether it was a Democratic president, a Republican, an independent would have gotten there, libertarian, whatever, because the policies of Ronald Reagan, when the economy was also booming in the 80s, not many people want to remember that. The economy was 5 times stronger in the 80s with a Republican. Now listen, I'm not a Republican in any way, shape, or form, but to say that is just tremendously horrible. I mean, you look at Ronald Reagan came in, had to clean up Jimmy Carter's economic mess. You have Richard Nixon having to clean up Lyndon Johnson economics mess. You had Dwight Eisenhower having to clean up President Truman's mess. Really, it's the opposite way by the Republicans, but both parties are equally bad. But her defending Joe Biden, and yes, it's probably easy for Joy Behar to live. She's got a net worth of $30 million. She makes $7 million a year off The View, so it's probably extremely easy for her to live right now. But for the everyday American, the person that's making $15 an hour, or is making and $40 or $50, $60,000 a year in salary, or making even $100,000 a year, it's not the same for that person in America. than it is for for all the people on here who are multimillionaires getting paid $7-8 million a year. It's a lot different, and for them.
Can't you give this guy a little credit for what he's doing?
Yeah, I will give him some credit for making it tough for Americans to live. Raising taxes on middle class and poor Americans, giving billionaires tax breaks, not trying to actually raise the federal minimum wage, not trying hard enough, I should say, giving all billions of dollars to Ukraine and Israel, knowing that we have problems of our own here, not securing the southern border, or what else can we thank Joe Biden for fucking up? Joy Behar is a communist through and through, a communist.
There's so much there, I don't know where to start.
Okay.
But look, on all the stuff you just said, inflation is up since he was president, not down.
It's down now. It's going down.
Okay, but
It was up because of President Trump.
No. Hold on. COVID.
There is a partial problem. Donald Trump did partially cause the inflation, but the real spike of the inflation was caused by Joe Biden. He's ran us a lot more in debt, and he's also spent a lot more. He ran us $11 trillion in debt, and he spent outrageously his first 2 years in office. That's what this inflation is. And it might be dropping a couple points, but that does not mean that inflation is coming down. That's like saying, oh, there's a guy that lives in this house. He's punching holes all throughout all people's mailboxes throughout the neighborhood. But then someone else moves into the house. Also, and then this person's punching holes. Also, it goes up. This person punched a crap more holes than the person that lived in there before that was damaging the mailboxes. But now they're doing it a tad bit less, but they're still doing it tremendously. That's what they're initially saying.
COVID and the pandemic.
Bipartisan CARES Act voted for
Caused a
by
lot of it,
Democrats
and
and
in fact,
Republicans.
went by, and Larry Summers, no Republican, former Treasury Secretary under Bill Clinton, said if he went ahead with the Inflation Reduction Act and all that spending, that it was going to increase inflation to double digits, and it did.
It's true. That guy's a Democrat, and the guy predicted what was going to happen.
So he made conscious decisions that caused a lot of pain economically in this country. Now, so you want me to say
Chris Christie is 100% right on this. They have nothing to argue. He is 110% million right.
you punched us, but now since you stopped punching us and the swelling is going down, I should give you credit for the swelling going down. I mean,
I'm leaving it.
That to me just...
That's a good point. That's like if someone beating you up, they're beating you up every single day, but then they stop beating you up a little bit. They're still beating you up, but they're not beating you up as much. You're supposed to be giving them credit.
That to me just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but I want to make sure
Sarah's got the question.
I will give him credit for the infrastructure plan, which I would have voted for and I would have supported.
And gas
because
prices.
Infrastructure. Well, but gas prices are still higher than they were when he got
I'm
into
going to jump in
office.
here, Joy. So we were talking earlier about the latest abortion ruling in Texas, where doctors are going to be prevented to perform emergency abortions. They're not forced to. You've said that you personally oppose abortion, but would not sign a federal bill restricting.
Okay, I disagree with that. That's just emergency, but that's just radical right there. That's no, them outlawing abortion totally is no better than Democrats allowing abortion up to 9 months or allowing a woman to get multiple abortions. It's no better than that. It's pure radical.
Procedure unless it represented a consensus. What should
national consensus.
What should that consensus look like, and do you oppose any limits?
I wouldn't sign a national ban on abortion of any kind, because I really believe that having the national government involved in this, especially you look at those people in Congress right now, right? The Republicans can't get anything done in the House. The Democrats can't get anything done in the Senate. Abortion would go back and forth like this depending upon who was in charge. It's not the right way to do it. It's the wrong way to do it. And so my view on it is every state make their own call. Now in Texas, what the court did there, in my opinion, was wrong.
Thank you.
Look, to be pro-life, and I am pro-life, but
Oh, my.
but it's got to be, you've got to be trying to save a life that can be saved. So the woman a few weeks ago who was carrying that abortion, that to pregnancy to the end, that's wrong to force her to do that. The child was going to be either stillborn or die hours after birth, and it was affecting her potential to have more children and her life going forward. That's not saving.
That's true. That's true. It's mental abuse is what it is. Can you imagine a woman and their spouse or whatever carrying a child for the 9 months and then knowing that it's going to die as soon as it's born or a few hours after it's born. I mean, that's just horrible. That's mental abuse right there. That can make someone go psychotic.
Saving a life, that life couldn't be saved. That's wrong to do. And these are the kind of things where people stand on grandstanding rather than on what you say you're for.
Yep.
And by the way, if we're going to be pro-life, how about we be pro-life the whole life and not just the 9 months of born?
Well, that's not a Republican position.
And, well, it's my position,
Yeah.
and it always has been my position. Look, you look at how many people are drug addicted in this country and mental health problems. How about we worry about those lives and help
Maybe a little
their
gun
lives,
violence, too.
right?
Governor Christie, so I want to ask you back to politics. We're almost exactly 2
Okay,
months.
that's a fair point, which I didn't hear which one said gun violence, but no. Pro-life for the whole life. If you're pro-life, you're going to be pro-life for the whole life. And that's a number of things. You're going to try to do something about these suicide rates, get the suicide rate down. You're going to try to do something about the gun violence. You're going to actually try to help the kid, You're pro-life for the whole life, but, you want the woman to be able to have a child, but you don't want the woman to be able to put her child in daycare so she can work. You don't want her to have a job where she can actually pay, where her and the husband or whatever can pay, take care of the child. When the child gets old enough, you're not going to, the child's going to struggle to get a car. The child's going to struggle to go to college. The child's going to struggle to find a job themselves that actually pays well. The child's going to have all these struggles. So if you're going to be pro-life, be pro-life for the whole life. For a number of reasons. Make education better for the child. So that's what I say. As someone who leans pro-life, I'm pro-common sense, but I lean pro-life. That's what we should be doing. We should be doing everything to make sure that children, that babies, toddlers, children, teenagers should thrive as their childhood goes on, so that way they can be prepared, or as an adult, and have all the opportunities that people in the 80s and stuff did back in the day when it was a better place to live. That's what I think.
Months out from Super Tuesday.
Yeah.
What do you think happens in these 2 months that could stop Donald Trump in the primary?
Look, if one of us either beats him or comes close to beating him in New Hampshire, I think that changes everything. Because I think a lot of people are saying they're going to support him because they think he's inevitable. The minute he believes...
I don't think that's true. I think if he loses New Hampshire, I think he will lose New Hampshire still to either Chris Christie or Nikki Haley. But I do not. Right now, I'm still thinking he's going to win it. But I do not see him. I do not see him winning. Others losing other states like Iowa, South Carolina. There's no way I see him losing it. The best bet they would have is if their voters would not show up. That would be the best bet. Yeah, that's my thought. I think that's the best bet.
Bleeds a little bit, I think he bleeds out. Because I think the support is very, very thin. And so that's what I think could happen. And I think also with him, every day there's a new legal ruling. And at some point, Republican voters are going to get practical, I think, and say he can't win.
But what about the fact that South Carolina is actually more favorable to him than New Hampshire? So even say
exactly.
somebody comes close to him in New Hampshire, he then once again wins in South
Well,
Carolina.
he'll win in South Carolina, then the next test is Michigan. Look, after
Nikki
New
Haley
Hampshire,
won't win in
Yeah,
South
she'll
Carolina.
she'll get smoked in South Carolina. Completely smoked in South Carolina.
That's true. I mean, she's at 8%. Two-term governor there, she's at 8%, and he's at 60-something.
She's going to lose by double digits in South Carolina, her home
But the
state,
truth of
which
the
is going to
matter
end her
is,
campaign, and then Alyssa's going to have
We
to
don't
support her.
know we don't know what's going to happen because that's the magic of this country. People go in and they pull a lever or they
right.
sign something.
Look,
so you'll have to wait with the rest of us.
Remember, Joe
to find out.
Biden was finished after New Hampshire in 2020. Everybody said he was finished. He should drop out. He went down to South Carolina and won big, and then won all the states on Super
Well,
Tuesday.
that's why
But the
we
party
can't listen to
consolidated behind him.
pundits. You
Well,
can't.
not really. Right? Bernie was still running.
Clyburn's.
Right? But Clyburn helped him
Clyburn
significantly.
helped him
What I'm saying, Alyssa, is that what we don't know
That's right.
what people are going to do when they get in the voting.
That's right.
And so let's see what happens. And look, it's not like he's running a vigorous campaign.
That's true. I mean, Joe Biden getting through the primary last time, that was a huge shock. Donald Trump winning the general election, getting through the primary the first time. There's been stranger things. So there's still a chance Chris Christie to come through doing this. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's a very, very extremely small chance. Less than 1%. But there is still a chance.
Campaign. The guy spends more time playing golf than sitting in a tuxedo at Mar.
I mean, for all we know, Super Tuesday could end with Chris Christie winning majority of the states, Nikki Haley being in second delegates, and Donald Trump being in third. There's a possibility that could happen. Very low chance. It's about a 0.0001% chance. but there is a chance of that.
Mar-a-Lago, that he says worrying about the concerns and the problems of this country, and he's a menace around the world. This is a guy who supports Putin, supports Kim Jong-un in North Korea, says Xi in China is brilliant because he rules with an iron fist over 1.4 billion people.
Governor, you said something important here, though, that this table needs to remember, because we talk about this a lot. We cannot keep reiterating it's inevitable, because when people start to believe that, that's why what people say all the time, it's going to show up at the booths. When you become part of this talking head that says he's just going to happen, it's just going to happen, you start to dissuade voters from the power they have.
That's why
it's important.
We didn't even talk about the fact that he calls people vermin and says that people are poisoning blood.
And by the way, I was the only candidate in our party who spoke out against that when he said it.
That's a disgrace.
Those are dog whistles to people who are the worst of our country, not the best.
This is the thing that everybody has to remember. These elections come down to you all. It is you who makes this decision, not us. Not any of us. We can tell you what we think, but it is up to you to know exactly what you want to see this country to be. Did you know that?
Wow, Whoopi Goldberg actually said something that was actually true and not a lie. Hey, yeah, you know, it's Chris Christie. In the beginning there, Joy Behar. These shows, these millionaires act like, oh, it's so easy to live out there. It's so easy to live. Bull crap. If I'd like a millionaire to be in my shoes for one day, that's what I'd like. Like, alright everyone, that's it for this video. Please like this video, please share this video, please leave a comment on this video, please subscribe to the channel. Oh, and remember, don't let the liberal media or rich people try to fool you. Leave a comment on this video if you feel like you're struggling right now. Oh, or leave a comment on this video if inflation has gone down for you in your personal life. Leave a comment on the video if you want to. Alright everyone, as always, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Favorite, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. I'll see you around.